Hi everyone, it's Rachel here today and I want to show you a new stamp set that I've designed for Darkroom Door called Wild Africa Volume 2. This set includes two beautiful images of a lion and a cheetah, along with some sentiments and some cute little footprints. The other stamps in this series include the Volume 1 set with a zebra and a giraffe, and the Volume 3 set which includes elephant and rhino, and then there's an African tree stamp set which has lots of great silhouette images as well. But today I just want to concentrate on the Wild Africa Volume 2 set, and I just want to show you some ways to colour up the images with distress markers and distress inks. So I've stamped onto a little tag using one of the sentiments, and I've created a little line of footprints using the footprint stamp, and now I'm going to sponge around the edges using some distress inks. I'm using the mini ink pads, and I keep a little round foam at the bottom for each colour, which just makes it easy to swap the foams when you need a different colour. So the first colour I've used is Fossilised Amber, just as a base layer, and then after that I put on some Rusty Hinge. So I'm just going with warm earthy tones to remind me of the African wildlife and landscape. And to finish off, I've used peeled paint. So this tag would be great for gift wrapping or for your scrapbooks and art journals, or you could use it on a card as well. But now I want to share one way to colour up one of the animal images, and I've stamped the cheetah onto glossy card with the Archival jet black ink, and now I'm using distress markers and a water brush to colour up the image. So first I swipe the marker onto the non-stick craft sheet and then pick up the colour using the water brush to colour the image. And I use this technique when I want a really light, subtle colour, as I find it's easier to blend with a water brush than going direct to the image with the marker. And I just love how it gives a really nice watercolour wash look to it as well. So I usually start with the lighter colours first and then build it up with the darker colours. So I've just started there with some antique linen onto the cheetah, and I've just let that dry while I've done some of the other grass. And now I'm just going over the cheetah with some wild honey just to create some darker shades on the animal, just to give it a bit of lightness in some areas with the antique linen and a bit of darker there with the wild honey. And now I'm just going to finish off the grass here with the peeled paint, and I usually just go over it a few times and just in different areas just to build up some of the colour, and so then you've got some light and dark shades. So now I've coloured the image, I've just trimmed it to the edge, and now I'm just going to sponge around the edges and the sky using the blending foam and distress inks. I usually start with a lighter colour on the outer edge and then just slowly make my way into the middle area. The first colour I'm using was Fossilised Amber, and I just slightly went around the edges for that one. Okay, so now I'm using Stormy Sky, and I'm just lightly sponging in, but I've just gone over some areas with my fingerprints on the sponged areas, so I'm just grabbing a piece of paper to avoid this again as I sponge around. So now I'm just building up the colour just by going over the area a few times rather than going in heavy at the beginning. And now I'm just putting on some Rusty Hinge just to give it a nice sort of warm glow. And then after that, just a bit of peeled paint on the grass again, just sponging that on just to finish that off and make it all sort of look like the same level of colour. So here's a look at the finished tag and cards, and that's just the sponge tag. And I've added some twine to the cheetah card and stamped a sentiment onto a die cut shape and just sponged around the edges before adhering it to the card. And here's a card using the lion stamp where the lion was coloured in the same way as how I did the cheetah. And I've just given him a bit of a warm glow, just like a sunset sort of look. So this stamp set, along with the other African stamps, are now available from Darkroom Door website, or ask for them at your local craft retailer. You can also find a list of stockists on the Darkroom Door website. Just look over the store locator link and you'll find some stores near you. Thanks for watching.